Good evening, everyone. Um, Sorry, I went in. I'm going to repeat myself. Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope that you're well after the hell week that this was. It was truly a movie for me, man. I had a fucked up time. It was really messed up. I felt, let me actually revisit because I remember the exact card that fell out where I was kind of in denial about me experiencing it because I just when the card fell out, I knew exactly the kind of subconscious wounds that would potentially attack me. I knew what that card was trying to talk about with regards to my story, but I was like, no, that's how is that even possible? Because no, absolutely not. But the gag. So I'm going to revisit the card that fell out. I'm going to read the interpretation and allow that to be the opening interpretation or idea with which I begin this sermon. It said, it was the lovers in reverse, just to revisit. It said, denying emotions or sensuality, the inability to separate from parents or partner, immaturity, the inability to make choices and decisions due to fear. And this is the sentence that specifically jumped out that I resisted with all of my might because I figured that I'm so aware and I'm got my degree and I know every fucking thing. And there isn't a single thing that would ever blindside me. And like I said, I had an idea of what could have come to me when the sentence came up. And I was like, absolutely not. That's not going to happen to me again. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. May indicate a deep psychic, long denied wound and vacillation, which had to do with the inability to decide. So the deeply rooted wound that comes up for me often is that of Thanatos. Again, also an energy that I pulled last week. That urge to death that lies beneath the will to live. And to open, fully honestly, my urge to death doesn't so much lean towards like targeted suicidal ideations. It's more towards just the sense that life feels overwhelming. Life sometimes feels overwhelming for me, and I would like that feeling to stop. Whatever needs to happen. Dying is the next best accessible thing because I mean, I suppose I'm with my addict personality, my yearning, all the things in the research and what I've witnessed of other people, I know that not a lot of things work for me. Well, no, let me not speak with such certainty. What can I charge this to? I guess it's just my personality type. And I'm sure many people relate to this idea. When you're just so certain that nothing else is going to work besides disappearing, besides dying, besides that sweet bliss of an exit, That's my wounding. And I also read up on a south node. It's a south node Chiron conjunction. Chiron. I'll say Chiron. A south node Chiron conjunction that started on the 28th of May in tropical astrology. And you'll share this with me if it is that you have your north node in Libra, or if in general, if you don't know about astrology, just to simplify and generalize it, you'll know this feeling if you are someone who has felt very focused on relationships, and if the idea of loving others and harmonious relationships with other people is the most important thing to you in the world, more important than absolutely anything ever. And that idea against your own personal worth and balancing the fact that you will be loved in your loving relationships, balancing the fact that you'll be loved regardless of how you show up. So you can show up truthfully and in whatever way you want. To bring that idea home to the wound that I experienced that uncovered itself, when I do feel the urge to death and to contemplate death, like the way that I did this week as well, with the overwhelming emotions and the why am I the way that I am, and why do I experience life in such a way when everybody else experiences life in what seems to be like such an easier way, da 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 da. When I feel that way, I tend to isolate. And obviously, as it turns out, that is the worst possible thing for you to do. Because, and I'll speak about it in terms of the spiritual warfare idea, also lending from a user who I think, I don't want to get her name wrong, so I'll just post the Instagram reel that she posted this week. Speaking of these similar energies that we're all processing this together, even if it did show up in a different, maybe lighter way, even if it was just material, even if it was purely an external influence coming at you, we were all triggered internally. Our internal world was mucked this week completely. Even if you aren't aware or don't relate to the deep kind of wounding that I'm talking about, I strongly believe that we were all triggered in this similar way of trying to rework the way we relate to life to understand that it is trying to protect us. This is things that I've been repeating over and over again for I don't even know now. I honestly believe that this is as well the overarching energy of this year and these few years that are leading up to this huge human evolution that astrological systems and human design are all talking about. So yeah, essentially it all speaks to our self-worth and how we are much greater. We are worth so much bigger than every single thing that questions our worth in this life, that we don't even have to question it. And that it's an illusion in and of itself that we contemplate it at all. Our worth is not up for debate. In this living experience as human beings, our worth and the greatness of it, and how there's no word, there's no price, there's no label, there's nothing that compares to how valuable we are, how important we are, how powerful we are. It's all so huge that it should not be up for debate. It should not be questioned. It should be second nature. It should be our first language to assume that we're powerful, period. We can get anything we want, period. Life doesn't have to be hard, period. Even when it is, all the difficulties that arise of life, the way that we process them, ease is always welcomed. Even through the moments of tightness and constriction, we can trust and just allow that tightness and that constriction to move through us, teach us as it is there to do, allow it to change us, allow it to morph us, and then we move forward with these morphs and changes. I'm going to leave it there for a second and be right back. Bubblebee's here. Let's go to the
I know.
Yeah,
Quickly.
come. Okay. So, as I put in the title, the purpose of this video, the purpose of this live stream is for integration work and to kind of ground the insanity that we experienced and realized of ourselves, of our environment. Hey, Pearl. Hello, darling. How are you feeling? How has the week been? What are the lessons? Please share with me whenever it is that this stream is tuned into, even after. Please share with me the lessons that are oncoming. I think that it'll be very useful in general, especially for me, to understand and to really ground what we went through, because it was terrible. I had a terrible time. Awful. My mental state was in, like I said, in the kind of shambles that I denied. I told myself I would never feel this way because I thought the last time, I'd never feel this way again because I thought the last time that I felt this way, I got the tools. So when it came up this time, I was like winded. I couldn't believe mostly that I couldn't believe how poorly I was managing everything, because I really thought that I thought that I got over it. I thought that I got over everything, you know? I thought that I was strong enough. And I suppose that's also part of the integration that needs to happen in this live stream. And that's also something that did come up a lot, is that in your moments of weakness and in moments of difficulty, if you find yourself unable to process certain things and you find yourself at roadblocks and...
Hello. I heard that there was some...
Baby, let me finish. Let me finish.
Tell you something. I think there was some old cookies inside the drawer.
You can go get some.
Inside this drawer?
No, in the kitchen. Thank you, baby. Let me find myself again. Regardless of the difficulties that you experience in life, regardless of how they make you feel and how you approach them. Sorry, I just need to check. The Wi-Fi has also been very, very awful. Oh, wow. Well, I wonder if this is going to actually show itself, if maybe the sound will find itself again. I'm sorry for this. Yeah. All I can say is sorry. I don't really know what else. I don't know how to manage the Wi-Fi connection. Because as well, I am in a place that I normally connect in. Like this space that I'm in is no different. It's just sometimes it's trash and sometimes it isn't. See if I can shift my position a little. All right, I'm going to continue on. Hopefully my voice is still heard, because I know that This app does kind of make room for that. So I was saying that regardless of the way that you may be processing everything, regardless of where you think that you're at in your journey, you have to know and understand and hold on to the fact that you are very strong. Even if you are tired of being strong, which I can totally understand you might be, and you're just tired in general, you're allowed to be. You can give yourself room for that, and you are strong anyway. Even if you don't believe that you're strong anyway. Even if you don't believe that you are blessed and that you are on your path, your exactly aligned path to greatness, even if you don't believe that, it's true regardless. You're loved and protected regardless. Your angels are always with you regardless. So next time these feelings come, because they will come, which is possibly the most irritating thing to me about this journey, is the cyclical nature of it. Next time it happens, next time you feel through these emotions, you have to just remember that it's a lie. That whatever feelings of disempowerment and uncertainty that come out of next time's darkness to shadow cycle, it's a lie. And you can process it with the fun, honest, transparent joy and frustration or tantrum of a child who's temporarily not getting their way, but whatever, I can still have fun. Everything is still chilled. Whatever, I in my moments and in general lately, actually, what's really been helping me is turning to children and observing their behaviors and remembering how remembering the magical experience of being a child and how they're always forgiven in general. I know that if you are someone who resonates with me, and if we are kin in the way that you may feel, we probably weren't forgiven very well as children. We definitely deserved better. But in general, children are forgiven. They're given space. They're given room to process. Everybody has a natural understanding to how expressive children are. And there's just always room for them, right? I especially love the moment children experience when they don't get their way, as I'd mentioned just now. When children don't get their way, they express themselves, they cry, they throw a tantrum, and the loving parent in their life will not back down, right? Because it still is that certain rules, certain things need to happen the way that they do. So, for example, a child not getting a sweet late at night, the caring parent still follows the rules and the laws of, you cannot get this sweet right now. Now is not the time for you to have this thing that you want. But I will give you room as you are allowed to feel and process your emotions. I understand that you're upset. So imagining God saying this to you in your moment of low and upset. I understand that you're upset. I understand it is that you want what you want right now. But you have to understand that there is a time and place for certain things. And no matter how badly you want this right now, now is not the time for you to have it. So take your space, throw your tantrums, make your cries, be loud, do whatever. And when you're done, know that I will be here waiting to comfort you. I posted this as well on Twitter, that song by Sade, By Your Side, is a song that God sings to you. The day that I actually posted that on X, that song was haunting me everywhere. I'd heard it randomly in my neighborhood while driving from home. And then a mutual posted it on one of her posts on Instagram. It was so magical and so sweet. And obviously when I listened to it, I cried. I read the lyrics. I imagined being held by not just God, my ancestors, all the angels, singing that to me and explaining that, we're right here. That song is also very personal for me because I grew up obsessed with that video, with the music video. So yeah, just this really sweet moment. And I will also say that when I feel the lows that I processed this week, I also posted this via my Instagram story. Just go and see my Instagram if you're interested while it's there. But it essentially speaks of it implied to me the darkness and the low and the real demon vibe that I feel when I'm depressed, and how word of God and synchronizations and all these cute little coincidences and stuff, they don't work for me. I feel miserable, and all I want to do is just not, I just don't want. I don't know. There's just nothing. Just don't look to me. Don't talk to me. Just nothing. You know what I mean? And they don't work for me, honestly. They really don't. But I am out of it now. I did post about it to say that today does feel lighter. And it's not to say, honestly, that the darkness is all the way cleared up, but I do feel like, I drank water in between rounds. I've wiped my face. I've plastered it up. I'm ready to try fight again. And it also speaks to the quote that I put inside the description of this video by Charles Bukowski, that I'll just read it now quickly. It says, lighting new cigarettes, pouring more drinks. It has been a beautiful fight, still is. And that's where I'm at. And that's where I think we're all at. That's where I'd hope that we're all at. It's a fight. It's a fight. And we're toning our muscles. And we can't stop swinging. Well, we can. We can, as I said last video, and as I tried to really highlight towards the end. And as I try to emphasize at all times, the choice is always yours to do anything that you want. You can turn to anything. You can do anything. I actually, just to be fully transparent, did pick up, I kind of like broke my sobriety over these past few days. It was very, very difficult. I was having a really hard time. But in doing so, I also realized that, again, as I did the last cycle that I did it, it's really not for me. Any habits of not being sober, any habits of inebriation, it's really, really not for me. And there is truly a brilliant clarity in being able to process things very presently and in not running away. And in sitting with these emotions, as much as they hurt, just sitting with them raw and just allowing every single thing to come and consume you if it must. Let it teach you, let it do everything that it needs to do. I actually wrote this in my journal, which I feel called to read, which I don't usually do. So this is a very interesting one. And then after that, we'll get into pulling cards. This is very fascinating that I'm doing this. So anyway, I wrote, okay. So the sentence I wrote here, I feel a little empty, like I wish I could grab onto something to fill me up, like I'm panicking, like a deep sense of distress is waiting to sink its claws in. And the point is that I must let all of life do whatever to me, as I can no longer be afraid. It's fine. I close my eyes and sit back. I let it all happen. However, whatever. And yeah, I think that is the general integration vibe of everything that has happened, everything that we have been forced to face and process about ourselves and our lives this week. As I posted via Instagram, thank you to this Saturn transit. Thank you to the Gemini new moon. Geminis, is this how you be living? Like, this is scary. It's scary here. It's scary. People are always charging it to Scorpio placements and Pisces, water signs, but Geminis are terrifying. damn, shawty, this is how you live? Is this how you live? Scary stuff. This week I fought to push away the pain and force myself to feel okay, but in the end I surrendered to my emotions because sometimes emotions need to be felt to heal. Exactly. Thank you, Pearl. That is exactly the tone. Exactly the tone. This is exactly why I encourage sharing, communication, just like, I really hope that I can build the space to eventually be something of completely open and free communication so that we can work with each other, because we are all so connected. And that is also the absolute brilliance that I always ground myself into remembering every single time. I ground myself, it happens on its own. We are so connected. And anytime you feel these emotions, the overwhelm and just the complete, as I'd written, distress, anytime you feel that, you have to remember that you're not alone. And we're part of the we're part of the interesting few who seem to be put in these incubations of loneliness on purpose, so that we're easily eluded into thinking that we are in fact alone. Because when we look around, it really sure seems like we're alone, right? But we're not. We never are. And thank God for the internet. Every day I'm so grateful for this thing, for social media, because it's through these incredible platforms and other incredible human beings who are honest and speak their truths, who just lay it out there. They'll just post a random reel like, so today I feel like absolute shit. What the fuck's going on this week? No. You know what I mean? It's so important for us to keep sharing our truth. I think that's the other thing that we're generally being pushed towards. Man, it's difficult because to isolate is literally my nature, but it seems like doing so is the exact opposite of what God is trying to get us to do. It's like every time we are being pushed into and stuffed into these shadow periods and just dark depression, God is literally putting out a hand and inviting us out of that hole, and kind of wants us to turn to the rest of the world and say, speak your truth, speak how you feel. Now is the time, please let everyone know. But us in our little shadow holes, or me, let me speak for myself, I go, piss off, leave me alone, God, fuck you. And I'll swear at God. I'll swear at anybody when I feel like that. I'll swear at a baby. I felt disgusting this week. But anyway, we're trying to be so back. And the key, as I've been trying to ramble on about, the key to being so back is to sharing your truth and being unafraid of being honest and weird. Actually retweeted, I think, a few hours ago, paraphrasing now, about someone saying, as a woman, you have to be weird. You have to. It's important. It's a rite of passage. It's an initiation. You have to be weird and you have to be unafraid of it. And yeah, that's it. I was going to say, trust that other weird people are going to find you. I'm sure we know that bit. It's not even about being found at this point. It's just about learning how to be yourself. Doesn't matter about who finds you. People are going to find you anyway. Your kin is there. Your community is there. Your perfect union, your perfect partner, your family, they're all there. It's all right there anyway. The point is that you need to be true to yourself so that you can start fitting into that picture as your true self, and not someone masking or pretending. Not someone wanting things that you think you want because somebody else put that idea in your head, or not about wanting things out of fear or whatever. We've revisited these themes. So, for the card pull, it's integration time, as I said, right? And I put it in integration number 1,002,000 bleep beep 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 beep. Because as I mentioned earlier, and as this game goes, the cycle never stops. This was horrible. This was a horrible week, and we are definitely going to live more horrible weeks, obviously. As I keep saying, such is the deal of life. Unfortunately, I'm very annoyed by that. I hate it. But I'm here. As I put via Instagram, the fact is that we are alive. And that's it. We're alive. So we must live on. And thank you as well. I hope that this moment catches my sincerity because I see that the connection is bad. Whatever, you'll hear it in my voice. Thank you for being present. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for choosing to be alive every day. Thank you for breathing. Thank you for choosing goodness. Thank you for fighting. And this isn't just me thanking you, right? This is your entire bloodline. Because that's actually something that I contemplated this week. While it is, I can't emphasize enough. I don't dog on people who decide to kill themselves. I think suicide is a very personal, brave choice, to be honest. It's very brave. However, when you do that, you have to understand that you're not just killing yourself. You're killing your blood. You're killing the angels that walk with you in this life that are invested in your story, that were assigned to you to be by your side. You're killing them. You're killing off a point in your family tree, in your bloodline. You are a very important nexus of your what do I call it? Of your network, of your ancestral network. Yeah, yeah. You're a very important point of your ancestral network. So when you kill yourself, you are killing off a point, a branch of your network, you know? All the energy that was flowing through you intentionally in your life as you are, all the energy that was invested into putting you here, you're killing that off. It's not a simple act. And that's why I emphasize the bravery of it, because just as it took a lot of energy to bring you into this life, it obviously, that goes without saying, that it takes so much energy to take you out, and that it's you that decides to do that. That's something. That's something. And I have deep humbleness. I have deep humblitude. I don't know what the word is. I am extremely humble to the feeling and to the idea, the process, the intention. To anyone who has ever done it, I am extremely humble to all of that. And that's all I've got. That's all I ever have. That I think is the most that I've ever spoken about that. The choice is always yours. The choice is always yours. And so again, thank you for choosing to live. It is incredible. It's amazing that you are alive right now and that you're waking up every day and deciding to do so actively. You're deciding to actively push against darkness feelings. You're deciding to actively work and be and become and love and connect and etc. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's a lot to be alive right now, right? So let's start pulling cards. As I said, integration work. So the cards are going to speak to integration, or you're going to lead us to wherever you choose to, so that we can stay on path and stay focused. Keep our eyes towards the light. What can be done? I actually did a reading before going on for someone, for a spiritual worker who, her name is spiritual guide _Mishka, just by the way, a totally otherworldly being who I recommend for everyone, especially in the Southern Hemisphere, to connect to and follow. She's got some truth to her. She is very well connected, and I think is some of the most, out of all the people that I've witnessed and seen, it's like, yeah, she's connected to the earth's rhythms in a very special way. Very, very special way. She really walks her fucking talk. So I will actually link her profile in the description of the stream. So we have the Hierophant. Of course we do. Of course we have the Hierophant. Our ancestors are definitely with us. Obviously, they're always especially with us during times of struggle and isolation. And anytime we feel like they're furthest away from us, they are right next to us. They're demanding our attention. They are absolutely 100% demanding our attention. We still have more integration work to do. This will not So like I said, and this is something that I felt into, but because I'm stubborn as hell, I don't want to believe it. But as much as we want the energies to ease up, they won't per se. And this isn't to like fearmonger or be or scare anyone. But we so okay, let me link to what I saw via social media. Someone had said that all the outer planets are transiting signs right now. So it's going to feel a little bit foggy for quite some time, and we just have to buckle up. And I think that's what I'm receiving as well from this energy, is that we have to buckle up. Yeah. There's a sentence in the interpretation of this card that says a bulwark against the storm. Let me just revisit the interpretation. But I believe that that's essentially what we need to tap into. We have to get stronger. Yeah. And we are tired of it. If there's anyone who's exhausted over being strong and etc., it's us. And ironically enough, what will make us stronger is admitting when we're weak. What will make us stronger is to listen to and follow the guidance and the flow of our weakness. That's what makes us stronger. Not the resistance, but the flow, and the flow with the release and the letting go. So I'm tapping into the need for more breaking down, more crying. I had a lot of those this week. So much. So much. There might be more. Only for the sake of teaching you how to do it. Only for the sake of teaching you that it's okay to do. And it's through those moments of weakness and breaking down and mentee bees. It's through those moments that you will be able to find your strength, that you will be able to become this bulwark. So the sentence is a bulwark against the dark. Yes. Reassurance, compassion, spiritual connection, and certainty. So I think this is what we're building within us through this shadow period. We are definitely in the underworld as a collective. The amount of times that the Page of Rods has shown up for me in personal readings is a joke, actually. It's irritating. Like I said, this period that we're moving through collectively, this dark night of the soul thing that we're all doing, is very annoying to me. I really despise the part where we have to just accept that life isn't always going to be great. We have to just ride with the waves. I hate that so much. But I understand that it needs to be done. And I'm understanding more and more with every time that these lows show up, that they're important, blah, blah, duality, doobie-doo. It needs to be dark so you can appreciate the lights, doo-dee-doo-dee-dee-dee. Another tweet that I'm remembering, they said, I can't wait for this phase of my life to be over. I need to see what this was all about. I need to understand what this was all for. Period. And we will. We definitely will. There definitely will be a moment. I'm tapping into the future versions of all of ourselves when we are finally living the exact details, the exact details of every single piece of the manifestation, the things that we wanted. They're coming. And once we are actually living in those dreams, we are definitely going to look back at this phase of our lives and understand everything. We're going to understand everything. But it takes a lot of time and energy and effort and etc. Everything that we're essentially doing right now. Pray more. I posted it via my WhatsApp status. Light a candle about it. We're going to have to do a lot more of that. Get more disciplined with your spirituality. Neptune is in Aries. We are facing a Saturn in Aries thing as well. So there's a conjunction between those two planets, which is, I think, very naturally implying the fact that we need to find a spiritual regime. We need to get into spiritual hygiene, and we need to be strict about it. Very strict about it. That's another thing that I shared via Twitter as well, that during this really, really low time, I was too exhausted to even pray and keep up with my spiritual hygiene. So part of my hygiene is to place a glass of water by my window and by the door of my home. And I also place a bowl of lemon with salt on the outside of the home. I pray in all three of those things. I do it weekly. I was exhausted these past 2 weeks and I did not do it. And obviously it built up. Something that happens as well every time I neglect is that someone in the house gets sick. We get snotty, mucusy. So yeah, pay attention to all of that stuff. And I'm receiving that part of the reason why you may neglect paying attention to that stuff is because you assume little of it. And it's like, this doesn't even work anyway. Or is it really that effective? Is it really more important than, say, having a job and earning money or whatever? Yes. In fact, your spiritual work, especially with all the transits that are happening right now, are way more important than anything that can reflect in the material world. Treat it as a job. Treat it exactly like you would a 9 to 5, where you would wake up in the morning and you would lose sleep so you can make sure that you make it on time for your meeting. You better do the same thing for your spirituality. It's important. It's extremely important, especially if you are a person of color, especially if you are someone of African descent. It is so important. Our ancestors are getting very strict. And I think what's also fun about this, that's the Scorpio in me. What's also especially fun about this period, I'm sorry, I'm checking on the candle. What's also fun about this period is that because our ancestors are so alive right now and they're so messagey, they're so speaky, they're literally right here on our shoulders, on our neck, is that you will be able to spot exactly who it is that isn't keeping up with their spiritual hygiene. You'll be able to see karma enact itself almost immediately on people who are not serious about this. And I'm not just talking as well, because I really like to think about, I really want to include the atheists in my little crew. Because as well, for my own sake, I completely misunderstood the thought and the idea, the frequency of atheism. It's an energy thing. It's not so much about God as it is about energy and personal frequency and the control and the respect of that per se. So maybe fine, you're not someone who's into ancestral veneration or into the belief of God at all. You have to be hygienic with your own self, your own beliefs. I think this card also implies the need to seek your truth and to stick the fuck by it. Find out who you really are and stand 10 toes down on that immediately and become, do, embody, you know? So that means that, as this card implies, against the darkness, against the shadows, be exactly who the hell you know you should be against that dark. So for me, as I mentioned, though, it's very important. While it is, yes, we're learning to be strong, we have to try to be strong. It's very important to flow. Don't contract and constrict and get tight. And it's going to make you weird, and then you're going to project and you're going to start being weird. The key is always flow. But it's also to personalize it. When I feel moments of darkness and I feel, I just want to tap out from life. It's the inner bulwark would be no. You know you don't want to tap out from life. You know this is just a feeling and it's just temporary. So my inner voice would have to turn on, be louder than the feelings, and hold compassion for myself to process. I've done a lot of inner voice work, actually. So hard. Harder than I thought it would be. Yeah. Shout out to Aries placements. You guys are so powerful. It's hilarious to me how little you guys think of your power. Yet you are, to me, you are the most powerful. The way that you guys exercise your will is magical. Truly magical. So if you have an Aries friend, learn from them. Shout out to them. The lovers fell out again, which is annoying. And speaks of, sorry, no, everything's annoying. Let me stop being so childish. Sorry. We're still, which speaks of what I'd mentioned earlier. We're still figuring out our autonomy. We're still finding the truth against all of this darkness. We're still trying to stand up against it. So the darkness is doing its thing. It's being wiggly woggly. It's playing with our minds, playing with our heart space. And as it does that, as it like pokes and pokes, we take on a different shape, you know? That's what's going on. Getting stronger and stronger and stronger. You know what I mean? With every poke, with every visit into the underworld, we are getting stronger. The work is being done. We have to continue facing the question of autonomy, being individuals. I'm specifically receiving the messaging of relationship with parents, so parents, mother-father wounds, and forgiving them and humanizing them versus the childlike experience of seeing them as superheroes who do no wrong and who shouldn't make mistakes. Yeah, that's something that can be unacceptable for a childlike mind, for a parent to make mistakes, and to understand and to come home to the fact that we are all humans. We're all trying our best, truly. We're trying the best working with what we know. And sometimes what someone knows, sometimes what someone knows had nothing to do with what you know, so that what they know will not at all be helpful to you and may even rub up against you, but it's no one's fault. It's no one's fault. We also have, the Two of Swords, the Six of Cups, and so we have the Two of Swords and the Six of Cups in reverse, and then we have the Nine of Discs sideways, but it is tipping more reverse, so I'm going to take it as reverse. Let's get into the interpretations of those. I will look at the Two of Swords first. The Two of Swords in reverse speaks of stasis, opposition, troublemaking, conflict, antagonism, antipathy, deliberate mischief making. Interesting. I'm sorry for laughing. I find this energy very funny and very Gemini coded. And something I also read online is that this is the energy of a Gemini placement when they're trying to find themselves. It's the energy of a child during their adolescent rebellion phase. All of deliberate mischief making, stasis, opposition, troublemaking, all of this, conflicts, etc. All of it is it's like a child throwing a tantrum, not getting what they want. Yeah, exactly that. So this may be a message of an inner child thing. This may even be you reacting this way to some familial conflict. This may be someone you experience within your family. Either way, though, this is something we need to manage by connecting to our inner wisdom. The whole turn the other cheek thing, you know? I'm seeing the energy of someone being so riled up and they want to do something. They feel they're angry, their eyes are like kind of like bursting out of their skull, and they want to react, you know? Okay. I'm just going to park that energy and read into the Six of Cups in reverse, the Six of Cups in reverse. This card speaks of nostalgia, a persistent longing to move back in time and relive your memories, emotional issues that need resolution, constant harking back to the past and failing to appreciate the promise of the present and the future, inability to deal with aging process, or someone who, like Peter Pan, refuses to grow up and take responsibility for their life. Okay, so it's a child. There is a child issue going on. Likely an inner child. And very much, I really love that I laid that example out before this reading, very much the example of a child, not a parent, a caretaker, not giving a child what they want because it simply isn't the time for that, and the child not understanding and throwing a tantrum about it as a result. Yeah. Oh gosh. I actually, yeah, I wanted to speak on something personal, but I don't think I can speak on it yet until it transpires. But I can see exactly how this is going to happen in my personal life. So good luck to everybody who may be experiencing this immature energy in their circle, because it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be, yeah. People are crashing out. People are crashing out. And that's why thank you. You think that you're not doing the work. You think that you're not strong. You think that you don't hold the wisdom. You're not connected. You are some of the most connected out of everybody who exists on the planet right now. You're part of the special collective that, like, you're tapped in and you are balanced, you are grounded. People are going to look to you for balance. Thank you. Just thanks, Thanks so much. It's no joke who you are, and the work that you've put into your character is no joke. And there's obviously more work to do, but thank you for everything you've done so far. The reversed Nine of Discs speaks of overconcern with material well-being, inability to understand or appreciate spiritual and emotional values, living for the present without concern for anything or anyone else. So this card in particular, I believe, links to the inner child aspect of us all that may come out this week, throwing a tantrum and being extremely upset about the fact that we haven't gotten what we want yet. And the idea of, why is it taking so long for us to get what we want? How much more work do I have to put in? Why am I putting in so much work for such little result? Why hasn't anything happened for me yet? Why don't I have the money that I want? Why am I not able to do the things that I want? Do, So that, I think, yeah, that the Nine of Discs energy pulled into the inner work that we need to be doing. I am the lovers. I am circling around the parent wound, the idea of how the feeling of reflecting on your childhood and feeling like as a child you deserved better, and specifically the idea of, I wish I were my own parent so that I could give myself everything that I felt I wanted. Like I said, there may be someone in your life or in your community, in your family, who may be throwing a tantrum over this very thing. It may present to be really mischievous behavior, just really naughty bullshit. But deep within, they are suffering from deep feelings of nostalgia, emotional immaturity, imbalance, just an inability of knowing oneself. I am thinking very much of the personal situation that is due to transpire this week. A family thing. I'm going to try to personalize it as much as I can without giving away too much. The individual with whom this will transpire, with whom I believe this will transpire around, is dealing with the feeling of neglect from a parent who basically gave love through the act of material things. And now, hold on, baby, now as they age, they are realizing that they needed more. They needed more than that material love. They needed emotional presence and understanding. And they don't know how to verbalize that. That emotional presence and understanding and honesty would allow them to know who they are as a person, and would allow them to autonomize and become themselves and feel comfortable in themselves, in their natural tendency towards sensuality, in their understanding of their body. But because there is a lack of that, a lack of truth and honesty and everything that that individual's processing within themselves. They're projecting, acting out, troublemaking, being mischievous with no base. It's just like, why are you doing this? Why are you causing such a lack of peace in your surroundings when all you have to do is be peaceful? In fact, for the most part, all you have to do is just try to internalize, try to journal. So maybe that's something that can help a lot of us, especially with our own personal inner child healing. Because I know I have this within me as well. Been throwing a lot of tantrums about where I'm at in life, needing to face the fact that it's all been my responsibility this whole time. And what I'm facing is a result of my investment into that responsibility. And unfortunately, what I'm receiving back is the truth of that. And the truth isn't always pretty. So please remember to light a candle about it, to pray, meditate. That has been the quickest access for grounding to me, is meditation. As I've said, very important to put aside at least 15 minutes a day. Extremely important. Funny enough, I haven't done that for myself today, but I have been trying to focus a lot on breath work. I did rest, and so I do feel balanced. But yeah, just in case you don't feel balanced, that's what we're working on. And then we are already an hour in, 57 minutes. So I'm going to pull one more card, close off. Every time I say one more card. Okay. So it definitely has to do with the home. What did I tell you? The Page of Rods. Again, for the 500,000 million trillion trillionth time. Come on. When are we going to finish in the underworld? When are we going to finish our work in the underworld? The Four of Rods, the Magician. And then we have the Seven of Cups and the Chariot in reverse. So I'm going to start with the reverse cards first, since they're super intimidating. And as I've said, the reverse interpretation of the intuitive tarot deck it doesn't take on the same energy as the Rider-Waite. I can't believe this. I can't believe how many times this has shown up for me. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the theme of Persephone, the theme of Persephone is just incredible. And it's pretty magical to me that it's showing up during this change of season. It's pretty interesting. Okay, I'm going to start with the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups in reverse speaks of fantasies that are never put to the test of reality, grandiose schemes with no practical application of energy to manifest them, choices offered, but the least challenging road is taken. I have to sit with that for a bit, because that felt slightly personal and I'm now processing on camera in real time. I'm going to read the Chariot in reverse. The Chariot in reverse speaks of egotism running riot, the tendency to ride roughshod over others, or alternatively, the use of a charming persona, hiding a steely determination. Okay, it just landed. To get your way. Self-esteem and ego triumphing over the spirit, force, aggression, habitual techniques of dealing with the world have stopped working. Lack of substance behind the mask. Okay. This is very home-coded, very family-coded. Maybe someone in the family who is a narcissist. Someone in the family who... Okay, specific one. Someone in the family who has recently shown narcissistic tendencies. But the showing, the revealing of these narcissistic tendencies is surprising to everyone. And so no one has known how to approach and speak on it. No one has had the words to verbalize, because as well, the person who is narcissistic, who's revealing narcissistic tendencies, the person themselves, because narcissists, as it says here, they're very charming. They're very charming, and they know their way with words, and they know how to defend themselves, and they know how to make you look like, like, what? I didn't do anything. I'm not doing anything wrong. Da 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 da. But they are wrong. Well, they're not wrong. They're doing wrong things. They're hurt. Like it's coming from a very hurt, projecty place. Okay. Wow, this is... Oh God, this is actually a very personal reading for me. So, with the magician falling out, I get the sense that if this is something that resonates with you, or if this is something that you feel that you kind of like, she read about it, the power is in your hands specifically. You are a very important piece of this puzzle. I'm thinking of the movie Encanto. If you haven't seen it, you should. Just to give a backstory, a very brief one, all the kids of the family are given gifts, but this one child isn't given a gift directly like the way all the other kids are. Their gift is very special, very hidden. It takes a lot of work. I'm getting something Saturnian about the energy of this, something late bloomy, something about the energy of how you need to believe in yourself, even though you need to believe in yourself against what your past has told you about your ability to believe in yourself. So like my personal story is that I have been in the past actively put down, as in I've actively been suppressed with the words, you are better off quiet, do not speak unless you are spoken to, that kind of vibe. So relating to that energy, it's a going against that programming and understanding that, no, you have a lot to share. You are very valuable, and you basically, you don't have to wait until spoken to. You just should share. Follow your gut. Follow your intuition. I'm going to read into the interpretation of the Magician Upright just to bring the energy of that home. Believe in yourself. A sudden conscious awareness of your personal path in life, new initiatives, creative ideas, the direct application of will to manifest an idea or dream, the ability to tread a difficult path with confidence, awareness of personal value so that the ethical choices can be made, as I mentioned earlier with the whole atheism chat. Stand 10 toes down. Stand 10 toes down on who you are as a person. No, you don't even have to, knowing yourself doesn't take that much. Just embody, just be, posture, that helps. I'm remembering a conversation that I saw via Twitter where someone was talking about posture maxing and how what it takes to actually fully embody good posture. And someone replied and said that it's about status. And I absorbed that and thought, so people who just believe in themselves believe that they're more deserving of a better posture. You know what I mean? So they hold a better posture. So that's key here. Posture also helps with your breathing, which is going to be very important, obviously, through healing in general, not just this week, not just from when you're watching the reading, but throughout life in general. Breathing presently, conscious breathing. Conscious breathing is very important. The interrelationship of many different dimensions and how these can be made to work for rather than against you, which I think the dimension specifically in this reading, I think, has to do with as well the underworld, your darkness, your shadows, all of your nasty gunk that you have been taught not to accept, that you've been taught isn't deserving. All parts of you, as I mentioned in previous readings, are deserving and they need to come to the party. All parts of you need to be accepted. Every single part of you. So For me, I have had to, for example, this week really come home to how vile I can be when I'm depressed. And I really wrote about it and I let it out. I let out every vile thought, which I know and understand aren't true, but I wrote them down anyway, just to release them. That's possibly something that needs to happen for you. Skill with words, self-confidence, and creative action of all kinds, which is interesting, that last sentence, because it also ties into the energy that this card spoke of regarding being charming, but with nothing behind, no substance behind that mask of charm. So, yeah, don't let any narcissist convince you that, don't let a narcissist in your life potentially just, even if it's you're in a narcissist, right? Because we're all narcissists on some level. Don't let that grimy voice try to deny you of the truth of your feelings. There's a lot of processing that's going to be happening, I think, now and into this change of season. And yeah, you'll be surprised about what comes up. But I think in general, with the Four of Rods also speaking about home, this card also speaks about home within the self. And with the Magician and the Four of Rods falling out together, I think that really brings that message home. And I think it's going to feel the confidence, the self-confidence that is going to come out of all of this energy that we're going to process from this video onwards is stellar. Like I mentioned a few readings ago, we are working on aura maxing. We are about to be so aurically powerful, energetically magnetic to our dreams and our manifestations that we are going to manifest so quickly. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to be like a magic trick. It's going to be like a magic show. It's going to be quite unbelievable on some level. However, every single level, every single layer must be worked through and done to its proper capacity. So remembering like I said a few readings ago when Persephone popped up, remembering her story, she was kidnapped. Just to recall really quickly, she was kidnapped and she was put in the underworld. And there was no, from what I understood about her story, there was no cutting that journey short. She had to do everything properly. Some stories spoke of how she had to marry Hades. Either way, though, she had to kind of wait and do her due diligence in the underworld and finish that chapter, do the story, you know? We are in that chapter of our lives. Sweet. The Chariot dropped and I picked it up I picked it up upright, which I think is a sign on its own. Just figured I should mention that. So anyway, yeah, I think as well with the Hierophant falling out, we have to do our things properly. Oh, the Hierophant and the Seven of Cups, which speaks of taking the easy road. Anybody who takes the easy road tries to avoid the work that needs to be done, tries to avoid needing to face themselves, face their darkness and their shadows. Anyone that tries to avoid this chapter of underworld exploration, anyone that tries to avoid facing themselves. God, there are so many home situations that are happening right now, actually. If there's anyone in your life who thinks that they've one-upped you, if there's anyone who in their mind has this idea that they have, that they're smarter than you, that they're ahead, they think that their mischief is winning. It's not. It won't. No matter what it may look like to anyone else, no matter how they may try to convince you and cook words and be tricky and mischievous, whatever, it's not going to work. And I think a lot of people are actually going to get their karma from reading this. And I'm receiving, okay, let me not say I'm receiving. Because my experience is that of this energy coming out through the masculine energy. It may be a man, a father, a cousin, an uncle, a son. A son, because I think the masculine, all of these men in general are acting from places of being wounded man babies. Sorry, that was rude. Being wounded children. Sorry. I don't want to be shady like that. The point is, though, Oh, I'm also, okay, what I'm receiving as well now, since I believe that I mostly read for women, rely on your girls, girl. Rely on your girls. Let's leave that thought and desire of relationshiping and wanting to connect and whatever. Let's leave that behind for now, because the men are going through something and they need to process clearly. They've got some things happening internally, and we need to let them be so that they can process that. They are going through the most right now. And even our own inner masculines, right, are going through the most right now. And we need to work through and work on those energies so that we can know how to properly be there for our own selves and manifest a proper masculine energy within us that, that is a proper match for what we deserve. Inner demons are coming out. But this card also speaks of like a baseless fear. It's something we're making up in our minds for the most part. So it's a lot of internal work, a lot of internal world exploration. Journaling is helpful. It's coming. It's coming. It'll be lovely. Yeah, try to be honest with yourself in the way that you feel. I really do recommend journaling, sitting with your feelings. Yes. The High Priestess, spiritual work. The Hierophant and the High Priestess. Spiritual work is very, 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 very important. And I'm not just speaking this as someone who is a spiritual worker, but in general, right? Please just remember that you need to stay grounded. You are powerful. You have a lot of energy, so much energy around you, inside of you, that needs control, needs a proper channeling, and it needs your awareness and your intention to make it happen. And it will all happen. Thank you so much. Thank you for your presence. Lots to be revealed. Thank you for your presence. I'm going to stop pulling now. I'm really grateful, as per every week, for anyone that tunes in. Hi, account. Well, all right. If you're confused, then I'm sorry. Then clearly my readings aren't for you. Hi, Moyawetu. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is actually the comment that you've just said is exactly why I started this. And on that note, I was just about to close off, but I just want to, as a closing off, recommend that we all get into this. If this is something that you feel drawn to, please, as I mentioned earlier on in this reading, please speak your truth. Please make your own channel like this. Just be. We need more of you, right? We could all use more of each other's truths. We all need each other, and we need each other to show up truthfully. That's all I've got this evening. Thank you very, very, very much. I am always so grateful. I really, really love this work. I'm seeing new names, so know that I do this every week, Sunday evening. I am looking to figure out how to do this more often and more consistently. In that offenness, I have been pretty consistent. If not Sunday evening, then it will be Monday evening. Can't stress enough. Absolutely love doing this. And yeah, I will see you next time I see you. Please stay well in the meantime. Know that the work is being done. Please don't push too much. Please don't hold tight. Please try to flow with everything, with all the lessons and the emotions that come out. Please try to flow and hold compassion for yourself. You are doing incredible work by being alive, just by being alive. And I'm very, very grateful.